In this video, I explain what cognitive biases are and how you can recognize them. You will learn how our thinking can sometimes be flawed and how we can protect ourselves from it. Cognitive biases are thinking errors that influence our judgment. These errors often occur unconsciously and cause us to perceive the world in a distorted way. They can negatively affect our decisions and opinions. It is important to recognize these biases in order to think more rationally and clearly. There are many different types of cognitive biases that influence our thinking. Some of the most well-known biases are confirmation bias, or the bias from personal experiences. We often tend to interpret information in a way that fits our existing opinions. These biases can distort our understanding of situations and other people. Confirmation bias occurs when we only look for information that confirms our existing beliefs. We ignore or overlook information that contradicts these beliefs. This bias can lead us to draw false conclusions. It is important to be aware that other perspectives can also offer valuable information. The anchoring effect describes the tendency to be influenced by an initial piece of information or number when making decisions. This first piece, the anchor, can steer our judgments in a particular direction. Even if the anchor is irrelevant or inaccurate, it can strongly influence our decision. The anchoring effect shows how important it is to critically evaluate information. The halo effect leads us to judge a person or thing more positively overall based on a single positive trait. If we find someone likable, we tend to view all their characteristics positively. This effect can distort our judgment and lead to unfair evaluations. It is helpful to be aware that negative traits can also play a role. Hindsight bias occurs when we view past events as if they have been predictable. After an event occurs, we often believe we should have seen it coming. This bias can lead us to blame ourselves for mistakes we couldn't have foreseen. An objective view of situations helps to avoid this bias. Availability bias occurs when we make decisions based on the information that comes to mind most easily. Events that were recent or intense seem more frequent or likely to us. As a result, our perception can be distorted because we misjudge the frequency of events. A broader information base helps reduce this bias. Attribution error describes the tendency to wrongly attribute other people's behavior to their personality. We often ignore external circumstances that might influence their behavior. This bias leads to misunderstandings and false judgments about others. A more objective view of the situation helps avoid this bias. Optimism bias is the tendency to overestimate our chances of success and underestimate risks. This can lead us to set unrealistic expectations for ourselves or others. While a certain amount of optimism can be helpful, this bias can lead to disappointments. It is important to realistically assess reality and possible challenges.